what I know about the extraordinary demands of the presidency, can be certain that any mortal can adequately fill that position. But my service on the National Security Council during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Berlin Crisis of 1961 and 1962 and later, the negotiations on Laos and on the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, have taught me something about both the uses and the limitations of military power, about the value of negotiations with allies and with enemies, about the opportunities and the dangers which await our nation in many corners of the globe in which I have traveled. As a member of the Cabinet and a member of the Senate, I have seen the inexcusable and ugly deprivation which causes children to starve in Mississippi, black citizens to riot in Watts, young Indians to commit suicide on their reservations because they've lacked all hope and they feel they have no future, and proud and able-bodied families to wait out their lives in empty idleness in eastern Kentucky. I have traveled and I have listened to the young people of our nation and felt their anger about the war that they are sent to fight and about the world that they are about to inherit. In private talks and in public, I have tried in vain to alter our course in Vietnam before it further saps our spirit and our manpower, further raises the risks of wider war, and further destroys the country and the people it was meant to save. I cannot stand aside from the contest that will decide our nation's future and our children's future. The remarkable New Hampshire campaign of Senator Eugene McCarthy has proven how deep are the present divisions within our party and within our country. Until that was publicly clear, my presence in the race would have been seen as a clash of personalities rather than issues. But now that that fight is won, and over policies which I have long been challenging, I must enter that race. The fight is just beginning, and I believe that I can win. I have previously communicated this decision to President Johnson, and late last night my brother Senator Edward Kennedy traveled to Wisconsin to communicate my decision to Senator McCarthy. I make clear through my brother to Senator McCarthy that my candidacy would not be in opposition to his, but in harmony. My aim is to both support and expand his valiant campaign in the spirit of his November 30th statement. Taking 1 month at a time, it is important now that he achieves the largest possible majorities next month in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, and in the Massachusetts primaries. I strongly support his effort in those states, and I urge all my friends to give him their help and their votes. Both of us will be encouraging like-minded delegates to the National Convention. But both of us want above all else an open Democratic convention in Chicago, free to choose a new course for our party and for our country. To make certain that this effort will still be effective in June, I am required now to permit the entry of my name into the California primary to be held in that month. And I do so in the belief, which I will strive to implement, that Senator McCarthy's forces and mine will be able to work together in one form or another. My desire is not to divide the strength of those forces seeking to change, but rather to increase it. Under the laws of Oregon and Nebraska, this decision requires the Secretary of State in each of these states to place my name on the ballot. But in no state will my efforts be directed against Senator McCarthy. Both of us are campaigning to give our forces and our party an opportunity to select the strongest possible standard bearer for the November election, to ensure that my candidacy must be tested beginning now, 5 months before the convention. and not after the primaries are over. I think that is the least that I can do to meet my responsibilities to the Democratic Party and to the people of the United States. The dangers and the difficulties of challenging an incumbent president. But these are not ordinary times, and this is not an ordinary election. At stake is not simply the leadership of our party and even our country. It is our right to the moral leadership of this planet. I thank you.